Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host Boosted Snowman, and I'm recording this video because the topic in question is of great importance and severity, and that is the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, I wasn't going to make a video on this topic. I didn't want to make this channel anything even remotely political, especially now so early in my career and so early into my lifespan with such a small audience of like 11 people that actually watch my videos. But there are two things that changed my mind. The first being a tweet from Magikarp Used Fly, in which he basically said that no matter how small the audience, spreading awareness is spreading awareness. And the other thing that changed my mind was something else I read on Reddit saying that Black Lives Matter isn't a political issue, it's a human rights issue. I sadly can't find the source of the post, but if I do during the editing of this video, I'll be putting it on screen now. Now, most people are either sick of hearing of this or just don't feel comfortable discussing this topic on any platform. But it is a topic that I'm going to be talking about because if I can enlighten all 11 to 12 of my viewers, then that's 11 to 12 smarter, more enlightened people. And if you should find it necessary to unsubscribe because of this, please do so as fast as possible. This whole event got kickstarted by the murder of one George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the hands of a police officer called Derek Chauvin. 3 other cops were at the scene and were complicit in the murder. They were also later charged, all 4 of them, thankfully. The murder was conducted via asphyxiation. Chauvin had kneeled on Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, suffocating him and subsequently killing him. Floyd was asking them and begging them to get off, as were the bystanders who were at the scene recording the entire event. Now, earlier I said that they were they were convicted, but they were only convicted after all the riots and the looting and the protests started. So for all intents and purposes, it wasn't like they were convicted because of the crime they committed. They were convicted because of the outcry. This is another bookmark in a long history of racial profiling and racial brutality here in the States, and sadly the events that transpired are not unfamiliar. There are innumerable amounts of cases of police brutality, and those are just the ones we know about. Think about all the ones that don't get documented or that don't get recorded, because those exist too. The event sparked an outrage and subsequently the ensuing riots, looting, and protests that have been going on for the last few days. If you want to see just how long 8 minutes and 46 seconds is, there's a link in the description to another video I made. It is exactly 8 minutes and 46 seconds long, and it is nothing but black footage. Now, another reason I didn't want to make this video is because of the fact that I don't want to undercut the severity of these events. I'm a pretty comedic guy. I like to make jokes, and I do not want to make the situation feel lighthearted or fun. Not to mention, I have in the past made several dark jokes and frankly over-the-top jokes pertaining to race, but the question of whether or not those jokes are acceptable is for another day. I truly genuinely want to portray just how horrible what happened to George Floyd is. Now about the riots. In the words of a wise man,
I am all for fucking some shit up if it got us closer to a solution.
Peaceful clearly hasn't worked. When they work, they work. Peaceful protests have worked in the past, but they haven't worked here. When they don't work, it's time to break some shit. And break shit they have. Not a day goes by when I don't look on my Twitter feed or on Reddit and see videos or images taken straight from the front lines of people standing up for what they believe in. The peaceful and the violent, the looters and the marchers, they all have a role to play. Now, I'm of the opinion that looting is fine if it directly targets something big enough to send a message. Simply put, the mom and pop shop down the street is off limits, but Target can kiss my ass. I am perfectly okay with rioting. You've probably seen that MLK quote get thrown around as of late, and it is 100% true. If peace is not the solution, then peace is not an option. They've tried the peaceful. They've tried to be nice. Those in charge didn't listen, so they made them listen. Turn on any news channel, any social media platform, this shit is everywhere. Every YouTuber, influencer, fucking TikToker, all are involved in this thing. People making noise so loud you can't not hear it. And it's great. Now, for the sake of legal, I am not telling anyone to go out and riot or loot their local Target, or any other store for that matter. I'm simply saying that when you push people to no other alternative, who the fuck do you think you are to question when they have to take the only other option readily available to them? I've seen so many videos of police officers pepper spraying and arresting and gassing people on the streets for protesting. This is the thing they're fighting. I keep saying they, and I say they because I don't want to include myself in a group of people out there risking their lives when I'm sitting in my dad's cushy office reading off of a script. That'd be a disservice to them, and it would lack any and all due diligence on my behalf. If you are in a position to spread awareness on this topic, do it. Share a link to a black charity if you can't donate. Write a tweet if you can't protest. Every little bit helps. I live far from where this is happening, so I'm not on the front lines. But if I can help however I can, I will. My resources are limited, my reach isn't far, but with what little I have, I will do what I can. That is what makes all of the difference. In the description, I will link to any black charities I can find that help the cause, as well as a video by Emmanuel Acho. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you have any others you might know of that I don't mention, please share them in the comment section or anywhere else you might be able to share them. Don't feel obligated to drop your entire life savings, but do more than nothing. Nothing gets no one anywhere, and silence is complacency, which we can't afford anymore. History is being written as we speak, and when the 2020 chapter rolls around in our children's history classes, make sure you got some stories about how you help spread the message that Black lives do matter. Also, if your response to that was all lives matter, please leave my channel.